Hey everybody, it's that time of the week again. Time for my weekly watch video, where we take a look at all the titles I watched throughout the week, and I briefly discuss them. So let's take a look at everything I checked out. The first thing we'll talk about are the few seasons I watched this week, and the first one I finished up was the complete third season of The Big Bang Theory. Another absolutely funny and fantastic season of a great sitcom. Now I'm not going to get too much into this one. If you've seen the first two seasons, you know what this one's like. It's brilliant. It's funny. Great characters, great stories. Absolutely fantastic. But what I love about this one, again, is the cliffhanger. Always great cliffhangers so far at the end of these seasons. In this one, Sheldon possibly gets a girlfriend. He gets set up with this girl who his friends actually found for him through a dating service. And there's probably this one girl who scientifically through this dating service is his perfect match, and we just briefly meet her, but from what we see, she does seem like a female Sheldon. Very interesting, and of course it's played by TV's Blossom, which is awesome, and I do find it really amusing since in the first season, I can't remember what episode it is, but in one of the episodes they actually talk about her, so I just find it amusing that she ends up actually big in this series. But that's it. We only meet her for a couple minutes, maybe like 2 minutes tops. The season ends, and now we're going to go into the fourth season and see what's going to happen with Sheldon's new girl. It's Sheldon. Sheldon doesn't have girlfriends. He doesn't even care about girls. He's too busy caring about himself and about science to care about women, but maybe he gets a girlfriend. We'll see. So, great cliffhanger. Can now be the start of season 4 and see where that story goes. Then the next two seasons I watched were the complete 9th and 10th season of Friends. Yes, I finished off the entire Friends series, which was really sad to watch the last episode. Very depressing. You know, you get so wrapped up in these characters, you just want it to go on forever, but it eventually had to end, and that was what the 10th season was, the last and final season. So season 9, I did enjoy. Ross and Rachel had the kid. Of course, they're still going through all the craziness there. You get the whole Rachel and Joey thing, which doesn't work out, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the cliffhanger for this season. It just kind of seemed like, I want to see what happens, but I wasn't shocked. Pretty much all the cliffhangers for every season made me go, oh my god, I want to see where this goes. What's going to happen next? Whereas in this one, basically, it's just Rachel and Joey hook up, and Ross ends up hooking up with Aisha Taylor, who was like kind of seeing Joey, but then they broke up. So, not that great of a cliffhanger, just somewhat mediocre. Again, I wasn't dying to see where the story was going. I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Let's see what happens. But I wasn't thrilled with this cliffhanger. Season was great, though, but cliffhanger not so much. And then we have, of course, the 10th season of Friends, the final season. Again, very sad to see the series come to an end, if you don't count Joey. But we'll get into that later. But Friends, yes, very sad to see this go. I mean, everything from Chandler and Monica having twin babies, actually. They adopted twin babies to... and a bit of spoilers here, sorry guys, but Rachel and... you think Rachel's going to go off to Paris, and she ends up coming back, and her and Ross are apparently going to get together. But one of the things about this, I actually... and I don't want to ruin this, Phoebe gets married, so you got that going on. So I don't want to, I don't want to say it should have gone on forever, but I think maybe, we should have gotten maybe a little bit more story. I would say when this one ended, the last episode, I didn't think it was over. Last episode comes on, and I thought, okay, maybe a few more episodes after that. No, it was, what was the last episode? I just didn't think was the last episode. There would be a little bit more story, we would learn maybe a little bit more about what's going to happen with Ross and Rachel, because they say they love each other and whatnot, but they've been doing that from the very beginning. I mean, they've always had this kind of weird sort of on and off again relationship. Is it going to work out this time? They have a kid together. They've admitted they both love each other. Are they going to get together and stay together and be together forever? Who knows? I thought maybe we would have got a little bit more, what's going to happen there. You have, again, Chandler and Monica going off to their new house. They just bought a new house outside of the city. They have their family now. What's happening there? What's up with Joey? Because Joey's all upset because everything's changed. All his friends, I mean, you got Ross and Rachel are together now. They have a kid. Monica and Chandler again are moving away with their babies, and Phoebe, she's married as well. So Joey's kind of just left stuck here with, everything's the same for Joey. Joey's life hasn't changed, but everybody else's life changed. So Joey's not taking it too well. So what's going to happen with Joey? Which, again, we have the series Joey, but we'll get into that some other time again. So, I thought maybe we'd get a few more episodes, but I did like the last episode. It was still good, even though I wanted to see more. I think that's probably my problem, is that I just wanted to see more. After the last episode, I was like, no, don't stop. Keep going. I'm really enjoying Friends. Don't stop. So maybe I just wanted to see more. But all in all, I'd say a decent finale. I wouldn't say it was anything amazing. I wasn't blown away by the finale of this, but it was decent. I did like it. I liked at the end where they're all walking out of the apartment complex together. That was pretty nice. So a good way to end the series, I would say. It was decent. Yeah. I wasn't blown away with the ending, but it was decent enough, and I guess it was somewhat of a fitting ending to Friends. So, again, a fantastic series. If you haven't seen Friends, check it out. Alright, now down to the titles I checked out this week. And the first one we'll talk about is Pierre S. DuPont, A Rare Genius, which is a documentary all about Pierre S. DuPont. This was a great and very well done documentary. It doesn't say, I don't see anything on here about who did this. I mean, it says Insignia Films, but it really felt like I was watching like a History Channel or Discovery Channel documentary. This was really well done. I was expecting something a little bit more like low budget, kind of, just because I'm thinking, okay, this is a documentary I picked up from Longwood Gardens. It's going to be decent, I'm sure, but I wasn't expecting something up to the quality and the standards of, again, like a History Channel documentary, which is exactly what this felt like. I felt like I was watching something on the History Channel. A great, fantastic documentary. I learned so much. When it comes to the DuPont family, I don't really know a lot about them, but I have heard a lot about them, only because since I was a kid, I had been vacationing in Delaware. And Delaware and DuPont, I mean, the DuPont family is basically like the king of Delaware. He's very well known in Delaware, did a lot for Delaware. A very, very popular, I mean, he's dead now, but he was a very, very popular man in the whole community and history of Delaware. So I had heard a lot about him, but again, I really didn't know much about him, even though I had heard of him. So this was great to watch, just learning so much about the man from his very beginnings and his childhood all the way up to his death, everything he accomplished and did for himself, for his company, for the entire state of Delaware. Just an amazing man. And of course, learning about what he did at Longwood Gardens, although I do have a different Longwood Gardens documentary that goes more into that, but still a great, great documentary. Not going to be for everybody, but I would say if you ever hit up Longwood Gardens, if you're ever in the area, definitely pick up this. Also pick up the Longwood Gardens documentary. That's really good too, but I'd recommend grabbing this one. It was just fantastic. Just a great, great watch. I really enjoyed it, and I'll end up watching it again sometime. And then I checked out Rambo, this year being the extended cut. Now, this is my second time seeing Rambo. I've watched the theatrical cut. I do own it on DVD. But when I got the extended cut, really wanted to sit down and watch it again because, A, I just really wanted to watch Rambo again since I really enjoyed it the first time, wanted to give it a second go, but also because it was a different cut. It was the extended cut. Wanted to see what that was all about. And unfortunately, it's been so long since I've seen Rambo, which I think was back in 2008 when the movie came out, that I kind of forgot really what the difference was. I'm watching this, I'm like, I really don't remember what the difference between this cut and the theatrical cut were. I'm assuming there are, but I can't remember them for the life of me. So I have no idea what the difference between the two are. Sorry, I really don't know. Which one was better? I don't know. Although, one of my viewers actually commented when I said I was watching this and said that apparently the theatrical cut is the better cut, they think, and it has more blood and gore. So if that's the case, maybe the theatrical cut is better. I don't know. But again, I'm sorry, guys. It's just been so long since I've seen a theatrical cut. Really don't remember what the difference was. But Rambo is still a great film, just in general. Whatever cut you watch, it's a great, great movie. I really do enjoy this one. I do like the Rambo series. They're really fun movies, and I just think this was a great way to cap it off, perhaps. And I say perhaps because, who knows, maybe we'll see another Rambo movie. I think there's talk of like a Rambo series now or something like that. I don't know. There's a TV series that's going to be ridiculous. So I don't know what's going on with Rambo. We'll have to wait and see. But I like the movie. I like the end when he goes home to his family. That's pretty nice. So all in all, great, great movie. If you like the Rambo series, this is one to see. Alright, so now down to the last few movies I checked out this week. And unfortunately, I won't have anything physical to help and show you, as these were all Ultraviolet digital movies I watched. I watched all these through my Vudu app on my new TV, and the reason why I watched so many Ultraviolet movies this week is because I wanted to do a video talking about my thoughts on Ultraviolet, which I already posted. You guys can check that out. You know, I never really played around with the program all that much. I just kind of, months and months and months ago, I went onto the website, downloaded like 1 or 2 movies just to see what it was all about. Didn't really care for all that much, so I never really got into it. But I really wanted to check it out, so I've been watching movies, streaming them through the Vudu app. And Vudu app plays pretty nicely, I gotta say. So, but anyway, if you want to see my thoughts on Ultraviolet, go check out the video. So the first movie I checked out was The Last Stand, and I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun action movie, though not perfect. It wasn't quite what I was expecting it to be. I was expecting something more epic, maybe something more like Rambo, you know, more action and violence and whatnot, whereas it had action, it had violence, but I didn't think it was as badass as it should be. I think maybe I'm just thinking of comeback movies like The Expendables and Rambo and stuff like that. And, you know, I guess maybe it's a Stallone thing where Stallone just does kind of like badass comeback movies. Schwarzenegger, you know, I thought he was good in this movie. I enjoyed him in this movie, but I wasn't necessarily thinking like badass the entire time. The last fight scene, though, that was pretty cool. I'll give you that. The last fight scene, I was kind of like, Schwarzenegger's still kind of a badass. I really enjoyed that scene, but all in all, I just thought the movie was just okay. I would recommend it. I'm not saying it was bad by any means. It was nice to see, I keep wanting to say Stallone, Schwarzenegger. It was nice to see him back in an action movie. I did enjoy it. And again, I would recommend checking it out. I know not everybody liked it. I got a decent amount of negative reviews, but all in all, I would say it was a mediocre action movie, but not Stallone, Schwarzenegger. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Stallone. Schwarzenegger really makes the movie worth watching. It's just, again, it's just fun to see him back in a role like this. So I would recommend checking it out. Johnny Knoxville, though, I don't hate Johnny Knoxville. I just didn't like the fact that he was playing Johnny Knoxville in the movie. He was just playing his typical I'm Johnny Knoxville type character. You know, we even got like a jackass stunt where he climbs up this telephone pole, falls down into a truck. I'm just like, just stop. Like, oh, you're the wacky goofy guy. Like, no, just Johnny Knoxville. I'm not, you know, again, I don't think you're like the best actor in the world or anything, but you could do better. I know you have it in you to not play the wacky Johnny Knoxville character. You know, you don't have to play your jackass character. I know you have it in you to play something better. So, I don't know. Hopefully someday we'll see Johnny Knoxville in a really good role instead of just kind of like, he was alright in that movie sort of roles. I don't know. But in this one, he annoyed me a little bit. But again, it's all Schwarzenegger. If you like Schwarzenegger, check out the movie. Again, it's nothing amazing, but it's fun. Then I checked out The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. Again, another movie I was expecting more out of. After watching the trailers for it and seeing the ads for it with all the great lineup it had, I thought to myself, this is going to be a great, great, great movie. Just a fantastic lineup. Steve Buscemi alone made me want to see this movie. Big fan of his. So I was really expecting more of this. And in the end, it was just alright. It had some laughs. It was an okay movie. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would say, see it. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. That was my personal thoughts on it. I mean, Steve Carell was pretty decent in it, though I thought they could have done more with his character. He was playing his typical Steve Carell type character, which I thought maybe was maybe played up a bit too much. I think had they taken his character more seriously and not made him such an idiot, it would have been more funny because he would have seemed like a real person. You know, that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to see a real person. I wanted this to be almost like a dramedy where there's very funny moments, but also kind of serious moments because he's a real person. But they played him up so ridiculous that you didn't even see him like a real person because he was just so incredibly stupid. So that part kind of bugged me a bit. Jim Carrey was great in it though. I really enjoyed Jim Carrey. He was pretty funny. Rip too in the movie, man. I don't want to say bulked up. He wasn't huge, but he was definitely cut for this movie. That was pretty interesting. So he was funny, and I enjoyed him. So it was cool too because he was playing like kind of like Chris Angel, the mind freak guy. He was, or in this case, the mind rape guy. I liked his character. His character is pretty funny. I liked how he's playing that Chris Angel type character. That's pretty funny. So, all in all, I'd say mediocre movie. Nothing great. I expected more. I think had they taken the movie a little bit more seriously, not just constant joke, and let's make Steve Carell an idiot, and had they, again, taken the characters a bit more seriously, probably would have been a better film, because it would have, you would have gotten more invested in these characters. There would have been plenty of laughs, but at the same time, you would have gotten a bit invested and, enjoyed the movie more. So, just seems like a movie they kind of should, there's a time and a place for super wacky movies. This one, just think should have been a little bit more serious. Not a lot. It didn't have to be, I'm not talking a straight up drama, but again, a little bit more seriousness would have made the movie just a bit more fun. Then I checked out Identity Thief, and again, another movie I expected more from. It seems to be a continuing theme right now. Again, from the trailers, I thought the movie looked pretty funny, and then when I watched it, I realized all the very funny moments were in the trailers. It wasn't a bad movie. Again, I'm not, these last three movies I'm talking about, I'm not saying are bad movies. I'm just saying the movies I expected more from. So, Identity Thief, yeah, could have been better. Could have been more, I guess, more well written. Could have been funnier. In the end, I just kind of watched it and went, that was alright. There were many, many moments in this movie where they wanted a big laugh, and I just kind of went, Like, it just didn't get... There were laughs in this movie, don't get me wrong. There were parts where I was laughing out loud, but there were many, many parts where you could tell they wanted you to be laughing out loud, and it just really didn't come off as all that funny. So, wasn't thrilled with the movie. I think it could have been better, but I'd still say it was decent. If you've been thinking about checking it out, sure, give it a rent or something like that. All in all, it was okay. Could I see myself watching it again? Yeah. Maybe in a couple years I'll check it out again. It wasn't horrible. Just think it could have been a bit better, maybe a bit more well-written. I mean, it basically is kind of like a comedy road movie, and I tend to like those. So all in all, just mediocre, but not quite what it could have been. And then the last title I checked out was Skyfall. Now, this one did not disappoint. This movie was... I wasn't expecting more from this movie. It gave me everything I wanted. A fantastic Bond movie. I love seeing James Bond, kind of down and out. And in this one, he's a bit older. They keep playing out the whole, this is a young man's game, and he's showing his age now. And there's a point where they end up basically, he's no longer fit to be be 007. He's no longer fit for that. He ends up taking these tests to get back into the service, and he basically fails. But M ends up passing him because she basically believes in him and stuff like that. So she ends up saying, oh yeah, he's fit to go and be an agent still, but he's actually not, which I thought was really cool. Cool that James Bond isn't fit to be his character. He's not doing so. He's not really physically up to it. He's not mentally up to it. He really shouldn't be 007 anymore. But he's still kicking ass and taking names, and we get a great scene at the end where he has to defend a house, Home Alone style too, which is kind of funny. As I'm watching this, I'm thinking, watching a scene where they're like setting up this house. I'm like playing the Home Alone music in my head where Kevin's setting up all the traps. So I found that amusing, but it was a good watch. I really, really, really enjoyed Skyfall. A great Bond movie. I can't wait for the next installment. The Bond movies just keep getting better. I'll admit this. I wasn't really a fan of Bond until Pierce Brosnan, because when Pierce Brosnan came around, that was kind of when I was in high school and stuff like that, and those were the first Bond movies I watched, and I got into them, really enjoyed them. And after I watched the Pierce Brosnan movies, that's when I got into the older ones. And the older ones, I enjoy, but I'm not like some huge Bond fan. I own them all. I have every single Bond movie, but when it comes down to it, I'm just like, yeah, the ones before Pierce Brosnan are good. I know a lot of you are probably groaning and moaning right now because, Sean Connery, I like, those movies are enjoyable. I like them. But really when it comes down to it, Pierce Brosnan, and on are good for me. So, those are the ones I really like. So, I don't even know where I was getting at. But, sorry, I kind of went off a little tangent here. But, basically what I'm trying to say is I really enjoy the Bond films now. Want to see a million more. Just keep them coming. Skyfall was absolutely fantastic. Bit of a spoiler here. Sorry, guys. If you haven't seen Skyfall, maybe stop watching this now. You have been warned. I thought it was very interesting at the end when M dies, and we get a new M. That was cool, because the character becomes the new M. I kept expecting him to be a bad guy. I was waiting the entire movie for like the twist for, oh no, he's actually the bad guy. In fact, they do a great job, because there's this one scene where they set it up where they almost make you go, this is the scene where he's going to do it. This is the scene where he's going to turn on our characters and become the bad guy. And he doesn't. I think they did that on purpose. I really think they were trying to really make you think he was the bad guy. I shouldn't say really make you think, because see, that's why I really liked that character, because they didn't push it on you. It wasn't like some movies where they're really trying to push you. This guy's gonna be bad. This guy's gonna be bad. This guy's gonna be bad. Oh no, he's not. You know, it wasn't like that. It was kind of like really subtle, where you're watching, going, I wonder. You know, he seems to be a good guy. He seems on the up and up, but you know, in the back of your head, you're thinking he might turn. And then they finally have the scene where you know you think, okay, this is the scene where he does end up turning, and he doesn't. So it was great. Again, he becomes a new M. Loved that. I like how we get our Moneypenny. That's pretty awesome. If you've seen the original Bond films, you know about Bond and Moneypenny and their sort of like, well, they never actually hook up or anything like that, but they kind of have this sexual tension between them, and they show a lot of that between the two characters in this movie. And then she becomes you know, the secretary, the new Moneypenny, and great how they set that up. So I can't wait for a million more Bond films. Just keep them coming. Skyfall was great. If they just, I think every Bond film just gets better and better and better. So Skyfall was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, sorry to ruin some spoilers there. Sorry to ruin some of the movie. There were some spoilers. I do apologize for that, but that's the way these videos go. But I would say definitely check it out. I can't wait to watch it again. In fact, I'm going to sit down and watch the last three Bond films again in a row really soon, because they're just fantastic movies. I love them so much. So great Bond film. See Skyfall. So there you go, guys. It's everything I checked out this week. Watched a lot, actually. I made up for last week, where I didn't really watch too much. Made it through 3 seasons. Finished up Friends, which, again, is very depressing. I am moving on to Joey now. We'll see how that goes. I haven't heard very good things. Apparently, it's not that good of a series. It didn't only last Joey only lasted 2 seasons, and the second season didn't even get released on DVD here in the States. So, not looking too good. I'm not really expecting much out of that series, but I do have the first season on DVD, so I will be checking that out. And also, you know, watching all those movies, those Ultraviolet movies through the Vudu app, that was interesting. You know, definitely something different for me. That was the first time I've ever streamed a movie. I've never streamed before that, so it was an interesting experience. I'm not a big fan of the whole digital thing. You know, I'm still a physical media guy. It's my passion, collecting physical media, but I wanted to try it out. It was a new thing, wanted to give it a go, and it was interesting. So that is it, guys. Like I always say, if you like this video, please give me a like. If you're not already subbed, please do. So that is it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video. See ya.